Alright, welcome back to the Tonebar channel. Okay, the Tonebar is a new way of mounting your strings on your guitar, eliminating the pins, and greatly improving the tone, volume, sustain, and clarity of each note. This is no joke. Look at the logo. That's the logo. Each string comes right up through the middle of the pinhole, and the Tonebar provides the contact to the bridge plate, eliminating the pins. Okay, today, this happens a lot, and I don't know why it happens. I guess people drop them. But today we got a pretty nice guitar, and I'm going to use these same strings with a before and after. This has pins in it. This is a Alvarez DR26. We're going to show you this happens a lot. I don't know why it does, but that's a nice Alvarez. You can see inside there, it's a DR26. Okay, it's got the pins in it, but looky here. It's got a headstock crack. See that crack in the neck? Ow, sorry. See that? See that headstock break right there? We're going to fix that. We're going to fix that. And then this guitar, if you've been a watcher of this channel, I'm going to just work on this while I tell you the story. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you'll remember the story of a guy. The first guy that I put a Tonebar in his guitar, he had it was an Alvarez. I guess this guy likes Alvarez's. He come to my shop, and his top was all busted up here. It was all busted, so I glued it all up. I fixed it up as best I could, and it was just at the exact moment in history when I was developing the Tonebar, and I just found the perfect material, and all that kind of stuff. And so I was getting ready. Once you have an idea, you have to. If you show it to somebody, you have to file the patent within a year, so they can't claim that they did it or whatever. So anyway, when I first developed the Tonebar, he came by, left his guitar for me to fix, but he left it for like almost 2 years. Never seen him. He left it. I fixed it. It sat over in the corner, mind his own business. And I put a Tonebar in his guitar. But when I did, I cut pins in half, and I put half pins in there just to cover up the holes, so he wouldn't know that there was a Tonebar in there. He just thought there was pins in there. But I kind of tricked him, just to see, just to see if he knew what the difference was. He's had that guitar for a long time. He knew what it sounded like. So, all right, we're going to use these same strings. Okay, so if you live in the Midwest, we're waiting on the big snowstorm to hit. Now, most of you wasn't alive during 77 and 78. 77 and 78 was two of the worst winters in the Midwest. I worked. It was kind of a shipyard. It was a dry dock down here at the Green River, where the Green River and Ohio meet, where the Green River comes out. Okay, well, I used to work at a dry dock where we welded on coal barges, and I run the dry dock, and we lift the coal barges plumb out of the water, and then we'd work on the bottom of them. But in this particular winter, 77, 78, it got to 50 and 60 below zero. The Ohio River froze, and people were walking across the river. I worked out the coldest night that we had. The wind chill was 75 below. I worked outside, third shift, outside that night. We had salamanders, you know, with the diesel oil fuel in them. They were glowing bright red. You couldn't even feel them. You put your hands up there and it was just bright red. Okay, so that's what we're waiting on. So we ain't got nothing to do. Might as well make a video. All right, so anyway, so I put the fake pins in his guitar. I put the tone bar in there, put new set of strings on. Put the fake pins in there, and he come back and got it, and he started playing it, and he looked like it looked like he got upset, but he wasn't upset. He just said, "What did you do to my guitar? What did you do to my guitar?" I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "What do you mean, what did I do to your guitar?" He goes, "It didn't sound like this before." I said, "So, well, is it, all right, we're going to show you something here." I'm going to show you something very important. This is very important. This is critical to what the tone bar is and does. These are the strings I just took out. Now we're going to take the, if you'll notice, yeah, this one's a great example. See how it's bent there and bent there? It's bent sideways and then it's bent there and it's all messed up here at the bottom. That's because of the pins pinching the string up against the wall of the pinhole and compromising the end of the string. It's compromising these strings. I'm going to put these strings right here. See that? They get bent in two places. They get compromised. I'm going to lay them right there. Now here is these strings here. What do I do with them? I lay them right here. Yeah, here they are. These strings were on my flagship guitar, the one with the W on the headstock, for 2 years. And if you'll notice, there's only one bend on there. The only bend is where the string goes over the saddle. This is the same tone bar. This was the tone bar that was on my other guitar for 2 years. And if you'll notice, the only bend is at the top, or at the point where it breaks over the bridge. Very critical. This is minute little, inside baseball, technical stuff, but this is critical. When you pinch your pins are getting pinched here at the bottom, they're getting pinched at the top, and they're just getting smashed up against that pinhole wall, where with the tone bar, the ball end is in the middle of the pinhole and comes straight up and over your bridge, give you maximum contact to your bridge. I don't see why people don't get this. The physics of it are just they just stare you right in the face once you see that. But most people, I don't know, I don't know. All right, well, let's do this. I didn't watch Scott Adams a lot, but I did watch him, and I liked him. He was a good dude and had a lot of cool insights. So we're going to take a sip of our hot beverage in honor of Mr. Scott Adams. That is a tasty beverage. Okay, now what we're going to do here is we're going to look and see in here. Okay, as I suspected, inside, underneath here, where they drill these holes for the pins, there's all kinds of wood shavings down there. It's all flustered. So before I put a tone bar in, I'll get all that fuzz away. It's all just a bunch of wood chips. Okay. Now what we're going to do here, All right. So anyway, he said, what'd you do to my guitar? What'd you do to my guitar? I said, well, does it sound better? He goes, man, never sounded like this before. He goes, it sounds better than ever. He goes, what did you do to it? And I went over and took those little fake pins and I just picked them out, all 6 of them, just threw them on the floor. And he looked at me like I had 3 heads. He goes, what did you do? I said, dude, I just come up with that. I said, I'm getting ready to file a patent on it. He said, well, what is it? I said, it's a piece of brass that back then, when I first found it, I had to get a big piece of brass and I used a draw plate, and I kept, pulling it through the draw plate, and that reduces the wire size. That's how they make wire. They pull it through a draw plate. If you was a jeweler, you'd know that. So anyway, I pulled that wire through the draw plate, got the exact size, and then later on I hired a wire company, and they make the wire specifically to that specific dimension, and then I make them into tone bars. So he was over the moon. He goes, I can't believe this guitar sounds this good. He goes, I cannot believe this guitar sounds this good. He goes, well, man, let me, and then after that, he kind of, we'll put it this way. He went on vacation for a couple of years, and I didn't see him. And then he just shows up last night with this nice Alvarez. He goes, play that. And it played, it sounded good. But I felt the neck, and I went, man, your neck's broke. He goes, what? So apparently he dropped it or something. So we're going to fix that today. And then we're gonna fix that, and then we're gonna string it up with a tone bar with the same strings. Okay, now all right. So what we got to do here is, when you got a neck break like that, you gotta, that thing is about ready to snap off. That's a snafu. Okay, what you gotta do is you gotta open it up a little bit and then force some glue in there. And I got a little wet rag here. And I got a dry rag. All right, I got a little wet rag here. All right, so watch all this glue go in here. So this is all highly technical stuff. Don't try this at home unless you know what the hell you're doing. All right, so I'm just gonna put a little glue right there. All right, now watch this. I'm gonna open this up. I'm going to force that glue down in that crack. You want to get that glue down as far in that crack as you can. Just open it up. You're not trying to break it. You just got to put the right amount of pressure on that neck. This is tight bond 3. Just force it down in there with your finger. It'll suck it up. See how it pinches out? Okay. Can you see that now? Just open the crack up. Force that glue down in there. This happens a lot with these. I guess the wood's not cured up enough or something. I don't know what the deal is. All right, so it's force that glue down in there. That's a big old crack. But it played okay. So just keep forcing that glue down there, and it's going to get close to the other side, and we're going to flip it over, and we're going to do it on the other side. wedge that headstock open. Okay, we got a bunch of glue in that side. Now we're going to turn over on this side, and we're going to do the same thing. It's got a big crack on it too. And hopefully the object of the game there is to hopefully this glue will go all the way down in there and touch it from both sides and fill that crack in. Phil McCracken, yeah, Phil McCracken. We're gonna invite Phil McCracken to the party. Look how it opens up. Wow. He better be glad he brought this to me, or this thing would have snapped off. And that's a whole nother ballgame. If it's got some left in there and you can get enough glue down in here. Wow, that thing is really cracked. Alright. We're getting there. Oh. Just keep pushing that glue down in there. Keep pushing it in there. Keep pushing, keep pushing. Okay, now I think I got enough glue in there. I'm gonna take a little wet rag here. I'm gonna wipe all this excess glue off. This thing got glue all over it, all over the nut, all over the fingerboard. Nut come off. That figures. We'll clean that up. We'll put that on after the repair. Okay, got the nut all cleaned up. Throw it over here out of the way. Okay, now we got the, I'm glad the nut come off. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple of, these things come in handy for more things than you'll understand. We're going to use a couple of Jenga blocks. Or matter of fact, we're going to use 4 of them. Two up here, and then one underneath. And we're going to use our big C-clamp, or the big, I don't know what they call these. These are just big old clamps. Alright. Alright, that's close. Alright. Okay, so we got that. Did you see that? All right. You see that? See all that squeeze out there? All right, now we take our little wet rag. And we wipe all that off. See all that come out of where the nut was? And then what we're going to do is clean it up on this side. Okay, so now we got lots of glue in there. Okay, now we're going to clamp the shit out of this thing. Maybe get a little bit more squeeze out. Alright, so now when you get this clamped up like this, and you get all that squeeze out, and there's only one thing to do. And that's set the damn thing down and let it rest. Now we're going to let this okay, see that? Get a tone bar. We're going to let this set. This is Saturday morning. I'm going to let this set all night, and then tomorrow morning we'll come back, and then we'll put these same strings here on. There's a string. We're going to put the same strings on. It sounded good before. But what's going to happen is I put, almost 100. I've sold 4,000, and the review. Look at the reviews on eBay. The reviews on eBay are incredible. One guy says, "Wow, sustained clarity, volume." Same thing I've been saying. He goes, "I'm floored. Excellent product. Does exactly what he says it does." This is the new standard. I'm going ahead and post this video here. And then I'll do the next one tomorrow. So get a tone bar. I ship them out. They're $10, free shipping. The tone bar slides through the ball ends of the strings and gives the guitar greater contact, more volume. You're activating this acoustic box here. This is an acoustic speaker. You're activating the bridge plate. The pins don't do that. They're just barely touching the bridge plate. This is a no-brainer. All these, and I'm running up against all these gatekeepers that don't want to say, "Hey, this is great, so I'll sell 10,000 of them." They go, "Well, I don't know. What if you break a string?" You won't break a string with a tone bar because you're not compromising. Your strings are coming right out of the middle of the pinhole over the bridge, and the tone bar, the tension of the tuners on the string is pulling that string down on the bridge, only on the bridge. And all the contact is underneath the bridge on the bridge plate. Okay. If you're in the Midwest, hunker down. I was in the winter of 77 and 78. It was terrible. Terrible. So hunker down. If you got a hobby, if you already got a tone bar in your guitar, it'd be a great day to sit down and play it. It makes a difference. When you sit down and play your guitar, I got that little one in there. You just pick it up and you hit a note, and it's like, man, that thing talks to you. I mean, the notes are so clear and they just sustain. I don't see why everybody don't have one. I got probably 8,000 ready to go, ship out. I need 50,000. Okay, this is 2026. Everybody should get a tone bar this year and make your guitar sound better. A cheap guitar, plywood guitar makes it great. A $5,000 Martin, every note will ring out like a bell and you won't break a string. My man, will shout out to my man Ronnie in Florida. Jacksonville, Florida. Ronnie, he's a bluegrasser. He's called me several times. He said, man, this is unbelievable. He said, he's bought over 150 and gives them to bluegrassers down in Florida. He says, you put a Tonebar in your guitar and you get on stage with a bunch of acoustic guitars, he goes, they can't hang with you. You'll drown them all out. It's louder, it's more projection, it's more volume. He said, they're going to look at you like, what the hell is that? It's the same guitar with a different mounting system. The system that doesn't break your string, the system that gives you clarity, tone, sustain, and volume. Just by changing your string with this little bitty proprietary piece of brass that weighs less than pins. What are you waiting on? Do it. $10, free shipping. I've never asked this. Like and subscribe. I got 2,500 subscribers. I need more subscribers. The more you like it, the more it'll show it to other people. Okay, hunker down. Thanks for watching. I'll be in touch with you soon because I'm going to send you one soon. Thanks for watching. Take care of those that you love.